The big one that attracted worldwide interest, and unfortunately, the focus moved off what happened in the event and moved to the betting side of things because people said, "What about the poor punters? And what about the poor bookies?" Michael Schumacher was favourite, and he won, and he was going to run the distance second. We still had to pay out, and but you must know this is. You must have known that that's always a possibility. That's always a possibility. Of course, back in 1992, we saw 4 years ago when Cool Tart. How much we've done right now? If you're over 18, you can. Well, Cool Tart had to hand over to Mika Hakkinen, and he won the race. It's happened before, and that's a factor that we build into the odds. When Barrichello was quickest to qualify, that should mean that he should be the favourite. However, you could still get a much longer price than what Schumacher was, because if Barrichello was in front, until Ferrari have got that Drivers' Championship sewn up, what transpired was always a chance of happening.
Okay, another time your name came up was over Big Brother. We were talking about it, and there was this sting that was going on, and we heard a whisper about it.
What was that going to be?
What happened was 2 Thursdays ago, a guy rang our office in Alice Springs, and some of these people must think we were born yesterday, and he said, I wanted to know if I could put $10,000 on Alex to be evicted this weekend. And normally when something like that happens, one of the girls that answers the phone will say, "We've got a live one on the line here. What will I tell him?" And I said, "No, tell him he can't have that. He can have $20 because it was 25 to 1, and we've capped." Before all this started, we did some homework on what could possibly go wrong, as we do in all sporting events. So we figured that to stop what was probably going to happen, we'll cap it at $500. So you can
otherwise people could get on the phone and rig the numbers.
So you can have $20. And he said, "Oh, why is that?" And the response from our end was, "Well, you probably know why." And had we have taken that bet, not that we would have ever even thought about it, he and 25 of his mates would have been friendly making 150,000 phone calls for the next 3 days to the Big Brother line.
So it was probably Alex on a mobile.
Can I quickly throw up some frames? I'll just throw up a deal list if you've got. Okay. Yeah. Well, let's throw up another one. I'll just go. Okay. Throw up another one.
Oh.
Throw up another one.
Oh, we've got all of them.
I went through this order before the show.
Yep.
So one time I've prepared something. Throw up another one. I was just going to say, okay, Eurovision Song Contest. In all seriousness, no, I mean this.
These are genuine odds?
How do you know that Turkey is a dud and Sweden is a pretty good song?
Well,
because Sweden are tall and blonde.
Yes. This will actually surprise you. We do form on this. You can go into a site there and listen to all the songs from all of the countries, as I did. And
That's great. And you have listened to all the songs?
I've listened to all the songs only once. Actually, one of the guys from work burnt them onto a CD and they're in the car.
And so you play them and have a listen?
Yeah, except, that's fine, but from one end of Alice Springs to the other is about 2.5 minutes. So for the past 15 days, it's taken me that long to listen to each song.
Yeah. But what's your musical taste like normally? I mean, you wouldn't back yourself in, would you?
I thought ABBA would win in 1970.
So were you doing this kind of thing as a kid? Like, were you kind of like, I don't know...
Betting
on tadpoles and frogs with other kids and kind of...
Yeah, I've got a pretty good background in gambling. I got a... It's something that I'm not very proud of because I was betting before I was 18, but I trained greyhounds when I was 12. And I think I had my first bet a long time before that, so it all started way back then.
Okay, I'm going to throw up another one. Throw up the Finnish election. Now, how the effing hell do you know the form on the Finnish election?
Well, with all of these things that we do that we obviously can't access markets to, we've got people in those countries. We've got 2 guys in Finland that specialise not only in Finnish elections, but Finnish Pesapalo, which is Finnish baseball, and Finnish soccer.
Are they originally from Alice Springs as well?
No, they're from over there. But you'd be surprised how much money's bet on that. Nearly $300,000 was bet on that.
On the Finnish election?
On the Finnish election.
So it's been held, has it?
It was last October, and a woman won it.
Yeah,
and we lost.
It was a photo finish.
Yeah.
The correct way to say that.
Actually, they've got an interesting way of doing elections over there. 7 people, I think there were 7 in that field there. They roll up for the election the first week, and the top 2 vote getters or vote drawers come back in 2 weeks' time, and you get to pick from the field too.
Oh, like it's French.
Elimination. What about Jerry? What about I want to bet that there'll be a terrorist attack in New York in the next 12 months.
Well, that's a good one.
Ring William Hill.
Okay.
No. We draw the line at a lot of things. Obviously, anything that's we don't think's political politically correct, we won't touch.
Yes.
I'll give you one example, is betting on who's the first coach in a football code to be sacked.
Yeah.
That struck me as a pretty ordinary.
Yeah, we come in for a little bit of criticism in a couple of quarters for that, but again, we only bet on things that people ask for, and sometimes you've got to weigh up whether you should do it or whether you shouldn't. But that particular betting option is hugely popular throughout Europe. The English bookmakers get big publicity out of betting on that. Unfortunately, there's some laws in place in Australia that don't allow Centrebet to advertise outside of the Northern Territory. So any opportunity we get at all to bet on things where we think we'll get some publicity out of, sometimes we do.
It's worth going. I still can't believe Turkey 70-1 for the Eurovision. Well, one more listen. I mean, you can revise those odds, surely.
And really, Jessica's going to be off Big Brother this week.
She's gone.
Why are they voting all the women out? What is wrong with them?
Well,
Ooh, it's a
we've
whole
done some
Palmer
form on this
thing.
too.
Yeah, why?
We're currently betting on the Norwegian and the Swedish Big Brother, and we've done the Danish Big Brother. There's been 13 Big Brothers around the world, and I think there's only ever been one woman winner. And apparently the demographic of voters is women,
Yes.
and they vote women off.
And women are hard
So the
on
women are
each
gone.
other.
There'll be a guy there at the
Yes.
finish, and hopefully it's not Marty, because we're standing him out the gate.
Oh,
We've got to get you back
It's
sometime.
amazing. Well, would you please thank Jared Daffy for... Back with more panel after this. We're back. It is time for Workplace of the Week.
good one.
A tourist.
In the Northern Territory.
No.
Okay, give us a clue.
Jail.
No, neither.
Childcare centre.
A childcare centre is correct.
Oh,
Thank you, Cal.
fantastic.
No, this is White Line Incorporated. They provide a network of role models from sport, arts, business and the community working toward giving young people opportunities and memorable experiences.
Can I just say something else?
Not in prison
Yes.
necessarily.
Can I
White
say something
Line,
else?
thank you.
Apparently, businesses of Australia are strangely reluctant to enter this segment.
Is that right? We're not getting
No,
Workplaces of the
people
Week.
are still sending in mugs.
Forget the mugs. The mugs are
Mugs
over.
are
Mugs are
over.
gone.
Mugs are yesterday's heroes.
Yeah.
Now that is what you have to do. Be subjected to ritual humiliation by us, and we will guess what you do. People don't want to
Just
do
a quick
it.
disclaimer. Why would I not have... I have a problem with that sort of gambling, that I hate the standard, pokey machine.
Because I think one is active and one is passive.
Yeah.
You
Because
mean
I'm
one
a
is mental
massive-
and one is...
Yeah.
No, I think I think one is stimulating. One involves some sort of, I don't know, some sort of mental process.
Working out who you think's going to win Wimbledon and taking a bet on it, as
and having
opposed
an active
to...
Just building
interest
up
in
your
it.
arm muscle.
Like at the races, I love a punt on the GGs. I love
So
it.
if we wanted, I could ring him up and get on the net and go bang and just put a bet down.
You have to have an account, I think. You can't just sort of say, it's Glenn here. But you try.
No.
Hey, just quickly, we were talking last week, the time you're on about, what's the name of it? That you do, the adventuring thing in...
Oh, the whole activity thing that New Zealand does.
What
the
is
whole
it?
Zorbing. Oh,
Zorbing.
Yeah. Zorbing's fantastic. You get inside a big ball and they throw a bucket of hot water in with you and they push you down a hill and you roll around. It's kind of a little bit... It's like this.
What does the hot water do?
It makes you roll around like you're in a washing machine. It's fantastic.
Does it make you feel sick?
No. As you can tell, I quite enjoyed it.
Was that you? Was that you in
It
there?
was me squeaking in there.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but that laugh was yours?
Yeah.
And is that for like a small crime or something in New Zealand? I'm lost.
Actually surprisingly enjoyable.
Hang on, did New Zealanders also invent bungee jumping?
No, but they really took it over. It started in England, I think. Bungee jumping is like people used to hang from under bridges and have like tea parties and stuff. It was like an English undergraduate thing. And then New Zealand went, aha, something we can do.
And did they invent that?
They invented Zorbing.
Zorbing.
It's hilarious.
I don't know if it's going to take over the
It's like being inside a big renegade ovary.
Oh, that's put it into perspective. Hey,
Yeah.
I want to ask our floor manager a question. The rumours are that Bert
Ah, yes. Now there's
is
the
going
man who would
tonight.
know.
No,
If there's
he
one
won't,
man that will know whether Bert is going or not, it's
Al
Belvedere. Bert's
Belvedere.
long-time floor manager. Belvedere.
Look,
Has he said anything?
I cannot comment. Sorry, Tom. I've been sworn to secrecy. Sorry.
No clues. Yes. Is he packing up around the dressing room a little bit?
No, he's not.
Are you part of the package?
Yeah,
I can't say
You
that.
have to go.
I can't say
It'd be
that.
you and Paddy would go with him surely tonight.
I'm loyal to this man.
Deal, wouldn't it?
I'm loyal to this man.
Oh, he's always on hand.
Rumour.
Surely he wouldn't do that. Not that we can speculate about the great one.
Well,
Can we
apparently.
bet on it though?
Yes.
Oh, that's
In fact,
good.
We'd turn though, wouldn't we?
Oh, well, yes.
Yeah,
we would.
Oh,
You
no,
would.
no, I
If you leave Channel 10, that's it.
You go.
No, it's not not that we would turn, but I have to think, would he
would.
want to go back there?
To 9, yeah, well, you know.
Do you reckon?
Oh, things have changed.
I think those halls must feel very empty and
Yeah,
echoey.
they would.
Would it be
Without-
like going back to your first wife?
With 9, yeah, I guess there'd be a touch of that.
Don't say first wife to Glenn or that's taboo.
Oh, thanks for warning me.
Yeah, absolutely. No, it'd be
Wasn't somebody going to do something or something? Didn't we in the break someone was going to...
Oh, something.
No,
I just
have we
about
done the
the-
Greek song yet? Yeah, I think we
we
have.
done?
Can I show you an ad from England?
Yes.
All right, I won't.
No,
Tango, it's an orange drink. They make excellent ads. This is their latest in a long series, if you know them.
Well, it's textbook so far. One more? Yeah. Waterbed method, unconventional, but when you've prepared as fully as this young man has, hello to you, then, and he's spotted him, then all you can do is wait. And that's the hit in the whole fruit. Wipe me dry. You know when you've been tangoed.
I have no idea what it means either, but it's just it's an interesting ad. Oh, come on.
No.
no.
Just run the logic of it past me.
There is no. There is.
It was just visually.
It was
a porcupine.
yeah.
He was on a big Zorb though, did you know?
Yeah, that's right.
Absorb, of course. Ah, see, it's all linked. Kate, you've had your teeth bleached. That was a link. That was the point.
Do you know I truly have? I don't think. Hang on, let me.
Can we see Kate?
You can't tell. How ridiculous. You know how this started?
How did it happen?
Because I had to get, for the first time in my life, a root canal. Have you ever had one of these?
No, like, they're always
really?
used as a punchline to a joke, like, oh, I'd rather have root canal surgery.
Exactly. Oh, it's terrible. It's really terrible.
Why is it? Surely, is that the one part of the human body that anaesthetic doesn't work in?
The root.
Canal.
Nicker. No, they do. They have to really anaesthetise you.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
And afterwards, you walk around with your mouth open.
Like
Right?
as we stroke.
Yes,
Yeah.
and I went and saw a
yeah.
girlfriend of mine for lunch. She said, "Oh, you look like my great aunt Mary." But
Yes.
I had to go back for 4 sessions.
Right.
So I'm just lying in the chair with nothing to do for 2 hours at a time, but read the paraphernalia on the ceiling and on the wall, which was about teeth bleaching. That's why I got my teeth bleached in the chair
Did they do it
with
from
a
the
light.
outside or the inside? Because when I had mine done, they
Oh, you put plates in? Did you?
No,
put
no, because I
How
was
do
in
you
an
do
accident.
a bleach?
I was in an accident. I was riding. I was
With the first wife.
Don't say that.
No.
The first
It
wife.
was a fight, okay, and then lost a couple. No, it wasn't a fight.
And what did they do?
No, I was working on my bike one time at a friend's place, and they said it was going to rain, better go home.
Yeah.
And I didn't tighten up the
Nuts.
front
Oh,
nuts.
your nuts.
And I
You
was
just
riding
spoke
down
to
the hill,
Josephson.
getting to what I'm going to ride.
that's
I went like that to flick it up the gutter and flicked the front wheel out of the.
And you zorbed.
And I zorbed, and I hit the
Your
road.
forks went into
Yes,
the
and
ground.
I killed all these teeth here, so they had to take the roots out. And while they were taking the roots out, they were able to bleach from the inside. I've had everything you can have done
Everything.
in dentistry.
People love telling you in detail about their dental.
No, but-
Especially
Yeah.
if
Hang
it's
on.
slightly wrong.
Yeah, don't want to know.
Have you had?
No, Glenn. We don't, Glenn. And the more you tell people, no, I don't want to hear them. I go,
Oh no, you love this.
It's like conversations that start with people saying, "I had the most amazing dream last
Exactly.
night." You're
Don't
like,
wanna go
after
there.
10 minutes,
We have a
like,
guest waiting.
Yeah,
Sorry,
that's
guest
right.
waiting.
Oh,
We'll take
we
a very
do
quick
too.
break. We have a guest
Yeah.
waiting in the wings. Back with more panel. Finish up tonight. We're joined by one of the most successful and respected coaches in AFL history. He's led Essendon for more than 500 games, written almost as many books at last count. Got a big game at Stadium Australia this weekend. Please welcome Mr. Kevin Sheedy. You're kicking off the debut match at Stadium Australia on the weekend?
Yeah, it's pretty exciting, really, to be quite honest. The last time I went up and had a look at the ground and measured it 3 weeks ago. And, of course, went to the opening of the Olympics and went to the Olympic Games. So a very special stadium, really, in the history of Australian
When you
sport.
say you measured it, what would be the problem if there was one?
Well,
Are there no wings on the? Is it not long enough, wide enough?
it's different.
It's different.
It's like you.
It's like me.
We know. But it must be weird actually about to approach a game that in a stadium you've never actually coached at before, or even played on before.
But that's good. That's sort of different and exciting from a point of view. I mean, we're going out the western suburbs of Sydney, and last time I would have been of any special significant time. Now I was in the army at in Liverpool at the Engineers and doing back in 1969. So I know that area a little bit, but it's great to see that ground developed right up the end of Sydney, Sydney's harbour, and of course to play AFL footy there in a big game, particularly after tonight, which is a state of origin, and of course play Sydney Swans is pretty exciting for our club.
It's a controversial game for a few reasons. One is Rodney Eade's future, and it is in question at the moment, and you're the antithesis of that. You've been there 20 years, and
it's always in question.
Right. But do you watch other coaches? We were talking about who's betting on who's the first coach to go. Do you watch the other clubs and think you should get a coach and retain them for 10 or 15 years, or do you watch it with bemusement?
Well, I mean, look, to be quite honest, I've seen a lot of the situations that happened in our game, and also in overseas sport, gridiron, and also soccer. I just feel over the years that quite often the clubs handle a little bit wrongly, and Sydney. I mean, I actually look at this history of Sydney, and Norm Smith, one of the greatest ever coaches of Melbourne, is the 5th longest coach of the Swans.
How long?
About 90 games, approximately 90 games. Well, that's quite an unusual record. And
do you think people are too impatient now?
Yeah, I do.
For results?
But that's the world. That's worldwide. And of course, I think that in Sydney it's a special sort of, well, the embryo is now into a full 20-year young adult club. And of course, a very exciting market, Sydney. Sydney is sensational. Yeah. If you get Sydney right, AFL just goes.
Oh.
I'm fascinated with the psychology of what you do. You've coached for a hell of a long time. Have you gone overseas and done courses? How have you kept up to date with the methods of coaching?
Well, I think that full credit to the both clubs I've ever been involved in. That's Richmond and Essendon. But I first went overseas in 1974 and went over to the Houston Oilers with Mel Brown and a friend of mine, Todd Shelton. We toured for 6 weeks. We went to the horse farms in Lexington, and believe it or not, I've actually got a horse now that is the grandson of the horse I saw over there called Nijinsky. Right. That's a freak of nature, to be quite honest. But all the time I've always wanted to travel overseas and tour the world and find out and talk to coaches, go to Football Association House in London, go over to the, just about every college and franchise. I mean, I took my wife on a holiday, but we never really had a holiday. We just went to every football.
Is there a common theme amongst what you were?
Yeah, well, I mean, it was a situation where you had to learn about when you become a full-time coach and there was no previous full-time coach, you had to go and find out really what the job
Were you the first full-time football coach of any code in Australia?
Well, definitely the AFL or VFL, but I don't know the other clubs. I mean, I always admired Riley Ratchick getting soccer into the finals of the World Soccer in 1974.